Episode 1 starts off with a young lady on the subway with her mother. As she awaits her destination, she glances around at the other women on the subway and scores them according to the different plastic surgery procedures that they've each gotten on their face. The young lady is getting plastic surgery herself and bids farewell with her mom at the hospital before entering the operating room. Although we don't see her face, we learn that this young lady is our female lead Kang Mi-rae. As a young child, Mi-rae would get bullied for being a little bigger than others. 3 little boys in particular would repeatedly tease her and make fun of her. Exhausted and fed up, Mi-rae eventually managed to lose weight as she grew older and even became a smart and successful student. However, things didn't change much as she would continually be teased and ridiculed not only by her peers but even her crush. She never got to live a normal life, she never ended up becoming pretty. After the surgery concludes, Mi-rae reunites with her mother. Now that Mi-rae's finished with her surgery, she'll become prettier and things will change. Mi-rae too notices the difference not only in her face but also in the way that she's treated by others. She gives herself a 79 out of 100 on her new face. A man has a conversation with a taxi driver about the taxi driver's daughter. The taxi driver is Mi-rae's dad and he brags about Mi-rae to the man, even comparing her to actresses like Kim Go-eun and Kim Tae-hee. The man repeatedly glances at the picture of Mi-rae that Mi-rae's dad has hung in his car, but stays silent out of respect. It's the day of college orientation for Mi-rae. She's reunited with her best friend Oh Yeon-young, Min-doo-hee, who she first met back in middle school. To commemorate the special day, they take pictures together throughout campus. Everything seems fine until Mi-rae starts to notice people staring and glancing at her, which makes her nervous. Maybe they're looking at her because they don't find her pretty? However, all doubts disappear when a random guy approaches Mi-rae and asks her for her phone number. The situation is foreign to Mi-rae and she answers that she doesn't have a phone number, rejecting the guy's request. He walks away in embarrassment and Mi-rae is confused with the situation. Yeon-young encourages Mi-rae to be confident with her new face. It'll take some time for her to get used to it, but in time she will learn to be comfortable with herself. Mi-rae heads out to grab her name tag and to meet peers also from the Department of Chemistry. Once again, she gives other young ladies scores based on their facial features and the possible plastic surgery procedures they got. She meets a group of first years like herself who all question whether she's really a freshman in college or not. Mi-rae has to prove herself to the group that indeed she is a freshman. At that moment, another young lady greets the group and introduces herself. She's Yeon Soo-ah, Jo Woo-ri, and immediately Mi-rae falls for her beauty like the rest of the group does. In Mi-rae's eyes, she's 100 out of 100. Meanwhile, another person is grabbing everyone's attention and mind. He's Do Kyung-sok, Cha Eun-woo, and he too is in the Department of Chemistry. All the chemistry majors are transferred to another hall where they watch a welcome video. In the video are former alumni giving the students a welcome message, including actress Lee Young-ae, "OMG she's so pretty." Whereas some students pay attention to the video, some others are busy staring at our 3 beauties Mi-rae, Kyung-sok, and Soo-ah. After the orientation video, all the chemistry major students move to their next location. On the way there, more greetings and introductions are exchanged. As guys notice Soo-ah, Mi-rae and her peers are interested in Kyung-sok. Everyone gets to know each other on a more intimate and personal level in their next activity. After introductions from upperclassmen, it's time for our 3 first years to introduce themselves. This is bringing back memories of my orientation, asked Kfst. Kyung-sok, Soo-ah, and Mi-rae are all met with great interest and warm cheers. Everyone seems interested in them. Mi-rae even ponders whether the same Kyung-sok introducing himself is the same Kyung-sok she knew many years ago. The group divides into smaller teams and share some drinks with one another. Soo-ah is kind and caring towards her peers while Kyung-sok is only interested in drinking when with his group. Mi-rae sits quietly in the circle and observes Kyung-sok from afar. She's still uncomfortable and unfamiliar with all the compliments that the other students throw at her as it's something she's never experienced before. The group is soon joined by upperclassmen Kim Chan-woo, Oh Hee-jun, and Song Young-ho, Choi Sung-won. Chan-woo expresses his interest in Mi-rae, but Mirai's hesitant in his advances towards her. All the teams bond by playing different games. With Mirai's quick thinking and intelligence, she's able to get her team to place within the top 2. To determine the final winner, the top 2 teams are to decide respective leaders to represent their teams. Mirai is selected to be the leader for her team, but she's uncomfortable with the spotlight. With reassurance and encouragement from Young, she is selected as the team lead. Meanwhile, Suah is the leader for her team and chooses to sing as her talent. However, she struggles in the middle of her performance, so Kyung-sok is forced to join her on stage. Instead of singing like he should, he bluntly comments that he doesn't know the song. Asked. It's time for Mirai's performance. Unlike Suah who sang, Mirai dances to Psy's new face, but like Mirai literally got a new face. I wonder if they did this on purpose. Asked. Her performance is met with enthusiastic reactions and cheers from the audience, and everyone clearly enjoys her energetic dancing. As Kyung-sok watches Mirai, he begins to recall memories of her from back in middle school. Although Mirai was afraid of the spotlight at first, she slowly gets used to it. For once, she wanted to show everyone who she was after many years of lonely dance practices. She also wanted to be loved in a normal way. A little drunk and in need for some fresh air, Mirai steps outside alone for a bit. She calls her mom and eventually begins to cry in relief. People actually like her and are accepting of her. This is something that Mirai's never felt before. This has never happened to Mirai before. Mirai ends the phone call with her mom with positive feelings and thoughts. Kyung-sok too heads outside to grab some air. Along the way, he encounters Suah who showers him with some compliments, but he isn't interested in her either. He walks away after notifying other guys she needs some help getting sober. Meanwhile, Mirai avoids drinking by still staying outside. She runs away to hide as soon as she sees Kyung-sok walking out of the building. She sits on a flight of stairs and receives a video call from her dad. However, her dad doesn't recognize her new face and Mirai has to lie that she's Mirai's Sunvi, upperclassman holding on to Mirai's phone in the meantime in order to eliminate any suspicions. Mirai's dad discusses about the video call with mom. He finds it suspicious and weird that Mirai's Sunvi had her phone when the girl speaking sounded exactly like Mirai, but with just a different face. Mom relays the idea that Mirai's always wanted double eyelid surgery since she was young, so maybe she just looked a little different. However, Dad is opposed to the idea of plastic surgery and won't allow Mirai to get anything done to her face. Mom walks into the room afraid and terrified. I think it's a little too late for that now. Mirai is joined by Chan-woo Sunvi, the same guy who's been interested in Mirai the entire time. He suggests that Mirai rest in a room not too far away from where everyone is, so she leaves first to walk over. However, she's unaware that Chan-woo is also accompanying her until he walks in front of her and shows her where the room is. Not too far away is Kyung-sok, who enjoys a fresh can of beer and witnesses the two walking together. Chan-woo enters the room first and is followed by Mirai. She maintains her distance from him and after a few minutes tries to exit the room. She's clearly uncomfortable being alone in the room with him. But Chan-woo stops her right before she can leave and he places his hand on the lock. However, before he can lock the door bursts open and he falls onto the floor. Enters Kyung-sok, who interrupts the dangerous situation. Yes, Kyung-sok. It's barely the first episode and I already like you. Chan-woo leaves the room in embarrassment and pretends like he had no hidden motive. After checking in with Kyung-sok, Mirai leaves the room. She's still surprised and shocked from what just happened and what could have happened. As she walks out, Kyung-sok follows from behind and approaches her. Standing across from each other and looking into each other's eyes, he asks her if she's the same Mirai who attended the same middle as him. Mirai is taken aback by the question and stands still, answering with her eyes instead of with her mouth. She's speechless.